what's happening, people? I hope you're all well. I hope that the lighting on this video is okay. I can already see it going on and off, on and off. It seems to be an issue. I'm trying to fix it, but at the same time, sometimes I'm like to myself, let me just make videos, keep the consistency up, deal with the problem, and then, you know, sort of, once it's sorted, it's sorted, but keep the content flowing. So, drugs in boxing. I've been meaning to make this for such a long time. I've been meaning to make this video for such a long time. Drugs in boxing. And this is an interesting one, you know, drugs in boxing, because it's so prevalent. It's that elephant in the room that people sometimes do and don't talk about. And performance enhancing drugs in boxing is such a big topic. Now I'm gonna try and tackle it in maybe under 10 minutes. And if I need to make a longer video, then I will. I've already wasted a minute. So yeah, why do people do it? It's quite simple. It's not for a better physique. It's not for vanity, for the most part. The reason most people take drugs in boxing is to enhance their performance. And when the margins at the top are so thin, you know, the margins are so small between winning a fight and losing a fight, you know, you slip that jab a second too slow and he lands that jab, and you know that right hand's coming, you know, after that jab, then you know that that could be the difference between you evading the punch or you getting knocked out. And sometimes it's got nothing to do with technical skill, truth be told. It's got everything to do with your reaction times. So what do people do to increase their reaction times? They take drugs. And here's the other thing, right? If person A takes drugs, person B feels they have to take drugs to stay competitive. Because if the margins are so thin and so small, and one person's taking drugs, it kind of pressurizes everyone else to take drugs to stay competitive. So it's not some evil thing. It's just like, you want to win, but this guy's taking drugs and he's got a competitive advantage. You kind of, in a way, have to take drugs if you want to stay competitive. I'm not talking from a moral standpoint. That's your choice if you want to take drugs, performance enhancing drugs. But in terms of a competitive standpoint, you kind of have to. If you want to compete at the top level. Now, at the top level, I don't want to say what people have told me, because I box myself and I've spoken to boxers as well. So I know a lot of I know a lot of the happenings in boxing, right? If you catch my drift, you catch my drift. Not just talking about PEDs. You know, it is what it is. Me myself, do I think every single fight that I've been in with is clean? Possibly not. So, you know, it's a big elephant in the room. It's a big thing to sink your teeth into. So, yeah, like, what it is, right? Competitive edge. You want to stay competitive? In a way, you kind of have to when the margins are so slim. The margins are so slim, you got to stay competitive. Stay competitive. If everyone's taking drugs, you got to take drugs. Now, the other reason people take the drugs is because insecurity. They don't believe in themselves. They don't back themselves. They don't think that they on their own can take the without the drugs can win the fight. So they take the drugs because they don't believe in themselves. And the thing is, once you start taking drugs, you become reliant on the drugs. You know, you don't know, you can't remember what it was like to not take the drugs. So you have to keep taking the drugs. You don't believe in your jab. You don't believe in your right hand. You don't believe in your stamina because you've been taking PEDs for so long. So people take it to enhance their performance, and people take it because they're insecure, or you're an older fighter. You can't do what you used to do. Yeah, you can't do what you used to do. So you got to take performance enhancing drugs to keep things going as you become an aging fighter. And when you become an aging fighter,
thank you so much.
when you become an aging fighter and you've been taking drugs your whole career, what are you going to do now? You're going to become clean for the first time? No, you're not. Like, so a lot of fighters take the drugs because they're an aging fighter now. And if you're an aging fighter and the young lions are coming after you with that extra speed, zip and power, then you might need a little something. Now, the other reason people take the drugs is because of the training. Do you know how hard it is to train? You know, I don't even box at the top level, far from it. But I know how demanding the training sessions are. And the more you practice, the better you get. But the problem with that is, as a lot of athletes can relate to, when you train, you rip your body to shreds. And sometimes, right, I've come in from a training session, I feel fine when I get in, but when I wake up after my 8 hours sleep, I feel like a wreck. I feel like I can't even carry my body out of bed. It's a real weird one. And as you get older, it gets worse. But here's the thing, right? You take the drugs, your recovery time increases. So you don't wake up feeling like crap. You don't wake up feeling like your body's aching. There's certain drugs, it's not just steroids, you know, there's drugs to lubricate the joints and to stop your joints hurting, and to, you know, there's drugs for all types of things. It's not just steroids. I think people get that twisted. So you take certain supplements, certain drugs, and you'll wake up feeling fresh as a daisy, when otherwise you would have woke up feeling like you're at death's door. And that leads on to my next point. That allows you to train, to shorten your recovery time and to train more. So now you're able to train more and your recovery time is shorter. And when you take performance enhancing drugs, you can train harder because you have that extra energy. Your mind is working at a faster pace. You have that extra energy, that extra power, that extra ability to complete a training session. And then you go to bed, you wake up feeling fine, you're ready to go again. But if you take the drugs, you can't do that. If you don't take the drugs, you can't do that. And as you get older, your recovery time increases. You take the drugs, your recovery time is shorter, you can train harder, you can train longer, you can get more done. That's another reason people take drugs. And the other thing I want to talk about with the drugs, right, is how do people get away with this stuff? There's drug testing agencies and what have you, like people like trying to catch people out taking the drugs. So how is it people get away with drugs? Well, the simple answer to that is it depends who you are. You know, if you're putting bums on seats, you're sending promoters' kids to private school, you're paying sanctioning fees to the governing bodies or the W, whatever. Like, I don't want to get sued out here, so I'm not going to name names. But if you're putting money in so many people's pockets, do you really think that you're going to get caught? And if you get caught, you think they're going to come down hard on you? Nah, boxing's a business. So you get, and I'm sure it's not worlds apart in other sports as well, you get done for, you know, you take drugs to enhance your performance, but you're putting money in people's pocket. You know, life is going to be easier for you. It's going to be harder for you to get caught. And if you do get caught, you know, your punishment's going to be less. So there are fighters out here who get, you know, take drugs and they're not getting caught. They're not, the setup isn't there for them to get caught. Now, if you're not one of those fighters, that's when you get caught. Someone's got to get caught, right? So if you're like a B-side, if you're the B-side, you're not the one who's expected to win. You're not the one who's being nurtured for greatness, for stardom. You're not the one who's being, you know, set up to be a superstar, and you take drugs, you'll fail the first test. You'll fail. Simple. You'll fail. And then they'll throw you to the wolves and they'll hang you out to dry. And, you know, all these people who know other people on drugs are going to come out on camera and say you should be banned for life. You follow the money and you'll follow what's happening. You don't make a lot of money. You don't send people's kids to college. You don't put bums on seats. You don't pay the sanctioning fees. So you take drugs. You're getting caught. Like, you're getting caught. Like, where is the incentive for these businessmen to not let you get caught? So that's why people get caught. It's pretty simple. You're going to get caught. Now, here's the caveat. if you used to be that guy, right? And sort of, let me backtrack a little bit. I've heard stories, right? You know, if you fail a drugs test, yeah, I've heard stories that there are fighters out there who fail drugs tests and it never gets released. So for all you knew, right, they serve their ban silently and they just come back. So for all you knew, right, they just took a year out of boxing, 2 years out of boxing, and now they're back, and they can give any excuse they like because it just never got released to the public. I've heard stories of that as well. So your favorite fighter takes a year out of boxing and comes back and tells you that they had family issues or whatever, and really they got a drugs ban. They served it silently, media shut their mouth. And you know, this is the thing, right? People, it depends who you are, you're gonna get caught or not. Also, there are masking agents as well. So you take a drug that masks the other drugs that isn't as serious to get caught on. You know, yeah, you get caught, but you know, you get caught for something, masking agent, so they can't find out all the 10, 20 drugs that you were taking. And believe me, there's a lot that fighters can take, a lot. Now, fighters are also, what they'll often do is they will take drugs and they will cycle off at the right time. You know, a lot of these fighters, you know, they might delay the contract being signed for a fight. They know they're going to sign the contract, but they're going to delay the contract being signed for the fight so they can cycle off. You know, there's a lot of tactics out here, a lot of tactics. Fighters take drugs, a lot of fighters, and I don't want to say how many take them, but it's a lot. And who gets caught depends on who you are. But anyway, I'm sure I've missed things out in this video. This is a long, this is like a video that I could make for 50 minutes, but I'm going to keep it like this because of what I've got to do today. I've got a lot to do today. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work and want to leave a donation, then leave a link. Then there's a link for that rather in the description. Donate as much as little as you want. It just allows me to spend more time on this channel. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day. See you on the next one.